Trevor Bauer is arguably the most controversial name in baseball in the past decade or so, and definitely within the past few years. Just to give a recap, back in 2020, Bauer was at the peak of his game. He had a 1.73 ERA, 12.3 strikeouts per 9 innings, and had elite movement on his pitches. This was the shortened season, so of course that's important to keep in mind, but nonetheless, he won the NL Cy Young Award and ended up being the first to do so in Cincinnati Reds history, which was pretty special. That offseason, he signed a 9-figure deal with the Dodgers for 3 years and $102 million, and things were looking really good for him. He started off the season pretty well, but in July of 2021, he was placed on administrative leave by the Dodgers because he was accused of doing some pretty heinous stuff by some lady in California. This was a pretty wild time for him in the MLB. He ended up filing a defamation case against her and was able to access videos of her in bed with him smiling after the so-called things that she accused him of doing. He was also able to find text messages on her phone with a friend that quote-unquote said, "Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers." And this was sent by her before they even met. And then there was another text sent from her friend that said, "You better secure the bag." These messages, along with an investigation that didn't find much evidence to support her case, ended up with Bauer settling with her and paying her nothing. I don't know about you, but to me that sounded like enough to let Bauer come back and play baseball. Either way, in 2022, he was suspended for 324 games, which ultimately got reduced to 194 later on. But either way, this meant that at the earliest, he wouldn't be able to come back until April of the 2024 season. So he went to Japan and pitched for the DNA BayStars, where he was solid. He went 11-4 and had a 2.59 ERA and even posted a bunch of vlogs on his YouTube channel documenting it. But ultimately, he wanted to come back to the MLB, and so he's been trying to do so. Yet, nobody wanted to sign him. To me, it sounds like the MLB owners have some unwritten rules so that they wouldn't sign him after all the controversy. Bauer even offered to sign for the league minimum, which is obviously way less than a pitcher of his caliber deserves. So, he decided that he would take matters into his own hands. He signed up for a team called the Asian Breeze that was going to play one of the Dodgers minor league teams, and he was lights out. He topped out at 99 miles per hour on his fastball, which was 3 miles per hour faster than what it was when he was back in the MLB. He pitched 3 scoreless innings, but no MLB teams or scouts seemed to care because he still didn't get any offers. And then, just recently, he signed a 5-day contract with the Diablos, which is a baseball team in Mexico. This team was slated to play the Yankees the weekend before the start of the MLB season, so it would be perfect for him to showcase his stuff. Against the Yankees, he pitched 3 scoreless innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 walks. His command wasn't the best, but he was still objectively really good. The Diablos ended up beating the Yankees 4-3, and Aaron Boone, the Yankees manager, even said, "I thought his stuff looked good to me. Obviously, he's got great stuff." I think it's pretty clear to people at this point that Bauer is good enough to get signed. Hell, he's good enough to get a big contract. When he's saying that he's willing to get signed for the league minimum with no offers, it's obvious that the owners of the league are either too scared of the media backlash of signing him, or they're just colluding with each other and actively agreeing to not sign him. I'm not that surprised though that this is going on. Bauer has a bad relationship with Rob Manfred, who's the commissioner of the MLB. Back in 2020, Bauer lashed out at Manfred in a series of tweets regarding the sticky baseball situation, and it probably put a target on his back. Regardless of that, I think it's pretty crazy how he's being treated. Other baseball players who arguably did worse things like Domingo Germán and Aroldis Chapman received a fraction of the punishment and are still pitching in the MLB today. It's wild to me that a guy who ultimately wasn't charged with anything ends up getting the longest non-lifetime suspension in the history of baseball. I don't know if Bauer's outing against the Yankees is going to change anything for him, considering that I think he's done all he can do to plead his case at this point, and he still doesn't have any offers. What do you think about the whole situation? And do you think Bauer deserves to come back? I'll see you soon.